I, 34 female, am in the process of divorcing my husband, 33. We're on good terms and still live together in my house. The house is in my name and was bought before marriage, which means my husband's not entitled to it according to my country's laws. He hasn't moved out yet because of his financial issues. I'm okay with it. He just started a new job and hopes to move out in a month or two. My mother-in-law is a nasty person, and we never got along. She never liked me and ensured I didn't feel welcome in the family. Last month, she called me on my birthday to tell me she's glad she no longer has to buy me anything for my birthday because I'm no longer family. She had recently found out we'd be getting a divorce. Yesterday, she called me. My ex was at work and didn't pick up, and that's why she called me, not him, to inform me she'd be coming over for 2 days next week because she'll be having a medical procedure done in our city, the capital. She doesn't drive, so she can't go straight home after the procedure. She was planning to spend the night and take a bus the next day. I told her absolutely no. She's no longer family. The house is mine, and I don't want random people I don't even like in my house. Neither she nor my ex can afford a hotel. He can't drive her back because of his new work. I won't because she's no longer my problem. My ex is very angry with me and told me I shouldn't be taking out my frustrations on his mother. I'm not. I just don't want her here because I don't like her, and I don't feel like I have to put up with this anymore. We're no longer a couple. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your ex-mother-in-law made it very clear that you aren't considered her family, so she doesn't get to ask for things. I'm guessing your soon-to-be ex didn't adequately stand up for you when you were married if your mother-in-law felt comfortable enough to call you on your birthday and be rude. So this is a him and mother-in-law problem, not your problem. If your husband is angry about it, tell him he can move out earlier also. Nothing prevents him from leaving if he's so incredibly offended on behalf of his mother. She's not related to you, neither is he. His choice is he can be civil and thankful for your kindness and generosity, or pack his crap up and leave ASAP. You're not a charity for everyone who rocks up looking for a free place to doss and chauffeuring everyone around. The utter gall of the pair of them. If you want your mother to stay with you, get your own place. Since we're broken up, you're a guest in my home and are not entitled to your own guest. If you let her in, your things will be outside within the hour. That's your answer. She already decided you aren't family. OP, the cool thing about being done with a relationship is that you no longer need to argue. If he's upset, that's his problem, not yours. My mom had a big fight with her parents when I, 25 male, was 10. The fight was about the blended family and what she wanted it to be, and the fact that my mom didn't want my grandparents to have time with just me. She was okay if they wanted only my stepsisters or the three of us together, but she said that just me left my stepsisters feeling like they weren't as special, even if they got their own time. I told my mom I enjoy spending time with my grandparents and getting away from my stepsisters. This made my mom more determined to stop the individual stuff that I did with my grandparents. My grandparents wanted to give me that time and refused to stop completely, so my mom stopped me from seeing them and we went no contact, which was not my choice. For the next 8 years, my mom would regularly talk with me about choosing the blended family over the extended family. She told me over and over that my stepsisters were my sisters, that I didn't need to say step, and that I didn't need to want family experiences without them because they were family. Since I was the oldest by 5 months, I should try to take on the role of big brother in a positive and loving way. She told me what my grandparents allowed was not kind and inclusive. She would ask me not to mention my grandparents or any of the extended family around my stepsisters. My mom went no contact with her siblings after they told her she went too far, taking my grandparents away from me. She saw it as a betrayal that they were standing by their parents. Despite all my mom's efforts, I never saw things as she wanted me to. I continued to miss my extended family over the years and never saw my stepsisters as sisters. No bad blood as such, but we're not close, as they're not a priority for me. They would not come before my closest friends, for example. I did get back in touch with my extended family once I went away to college, and we're in touch again and closer than ever. My mom disapproves, but I'm not relying on her anymore. So here's what happened. My grandparents wanted to arrange a vacation for the family for this summer. I said I would go, as did the rest of the family. My mom's the only one not invited. My aunt posted her excitement about the vacation on Facebook. I guess my mom still cyberstalks her siblings, despite unfriending them on Facebook, because she saw the post, and I was mentioned. She had a meltdown and told me I could not and should not go. She told me to think of my sisters and put our family first for once. I found out 2 days later that my stepsisters were actually upset. The older of the two told me it hurt to see me care more about my extended family than them, and she told me they saw me as a brother. It stings to know that even as an adult, and after 16 years as a family, I would rather have my extended family than them. Am I the idiot? Edit. Stepsister's dad's side was dead before they were born. They technically have a mom's side, but their mom and her family didn't want to have a relationship with them. Not the idiot. If your mother had not made such a big deal, then maybe your stepsisters would have spent years getting to know your extended family, and it could have turned into an entire event to which they were invited. Your mother tried to force her opinions on people, which never works. Let your sisters know that your mom created the issue. It's a vacation. You're not moving across the world to escape them. Yes, the mom is stirring the pot for the step-siblings, making it a problem, so they can get individual time with your grandparents, but you can't? I can't fathom the mental gymnastics that went on in her head to come to the conclusion that this made sense. It will always amaze me that people will not understand that forcing relationships does not work and will never work. And almost every time, it results in the exact opposite of what the idiot doing the forcing wanted. I'm laughing at the thought of your mom telling a 25-year-old man that he can't and won't go on a holiday with his own darn family members. She's unhinged. Man, don't back down. Your mom never cared about how you felt. The only thing she cares about is your stepsisters. Man, go on this trip. You will feel free and happy to be loved because your mother's completely delulu, wanting to force her choice, the new family, on you, and it's not okay at all. I, 30 female, have been married to my 34 husband for 6 years, and he has twins, a boy and a girl who are now teenagers. When we started dating and got married, we went to family therapy, and I made it clear that I wasn't trying to be their mother or replace their mother. Their mother hasn't been in their life since they were about 8. Things have been great with us these past 6 years. They even started calling me mom when they were around 12 and 13. Recently, their bio mother came back into their lives, and they were really excited. Things were great for about 6 months, and then they started calling me by my real name. That hurt, but that's what they chose to do, and I never questioned it. Recently, they've been getting very disrespectful. They don't follow the curfew rules. They're not cleaning up after themselves. They're talking back to me, telling me I'm not their real mom, that I'm the reason she left, which is not true. I didn't meet him until almost 1.5 years after she left. That now that she's back, they don't need me anymore. 3 weeks ago, there was a big blow-up where my stepson called me a witch. I took his phone and told him to go to his room until his dad came back, but instead, he ran out and went to his mom's. She came over and it was a big argument. She tried to hit me, and I pushed her out of my house. My stepdaughter told me if I ever put my hands on her mom again, then she'd kick my butt. They both went to their mom's place. After that, I haven't been very active. I usually take them to sports and activities, but I don't wake them up for school, so they've been late a few times. I tell them to have their mom wake them up and take them. We were supposed to go to Disney World for their spring break this week, but I canceled everything. I told them and my husband, and they thought I was bluffing. We were supposed to leave Thursday night, and when I didn't start the usual vacation roundup, they were shocked. They started saying I was jealous that their mom came back into their lives, that I'm a horrible person, I'm selfish. There was some name calling and my husband was silent. I asked him if he would step in, and he said I was wrong for canceling. I left and went to stay in a hotel. He's been blowing up my phone asking me to come back. And yesterday, he told me that their mother disappeared again, and they've been calling me crying and apologizing. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't feel like I'm part of their family, and they can't just cry and come back now that she's disappeared. I told my husband that I want a divorce, and I'll be back over this week to get my things, but we have nothing to talk about. Yes, I know their mother was manipulating them. I never said otherwise. Yes, they are teenagers. That doesn't give them the right to treat me this way. Being a teen doesn't mean you get to be disrespectful and threaten me. I have always been in their corner. I know their feelings matter, but I also have feelings. I am not only considering or moving forward with this divorce based on how the children acted, but it's also that my husband didn't back me up in this. If I can't count on him to help me navigate this tough situation that we're all going through, then why should I stay? That doesn't mean that I should be treated the way I was being treated. That's not normal teen behavior. To threaten me? Call me vile names? I need time for myself, and I don't want an apology just because their bio mother ran out on them again. I want an apology because they really mean it, and I don't believe anyone can be genuinely sorry 2 days after their mother vanished again. I would never abandon them, but I do need time for myself because my feelings were disregarded. Yes, I'm an adult, but I still have hurt feelings and need time for myself. I've never asked or expected them to be perfect. I never expected them to be the most mature people, but I am allowed to be hurt and take time for myself during all of this. They have feelings and so do I. I love them very much. They're my children. But this situation is complicated. This is not because they called me a witch. I've been called worse. I'm a woman. This is ultimately about my husband not backing me up during this situation. And yes, I am hurt that they called me that. I'm allowed to be. It hurts even worse coming from two people who I love dearly and would never hurt or want any harm to come to them. Not the idiot. Bio mom knew she won, so she checked out. If your husband stepped up and actually parented his children, then he wouldn't be looking forward to his second divorce and being a single parent. Right? My jaw actually dropped when her husband said nothing to his kids, who had been insulting and berating their stepmom, calling her horrible names and swearing at her. And when she rightfully turns to her husband and gives him the, "So you want to weigh in here," look, all this idiot says is, "You shouldn't have canceled the trip." This husband is pathetic and spineless. I'll extend a slight amount of grace to the kids, as they were clearly manipulated by their idiot biological mother. Still, they're also old enough to know not to speak to someone like that, especially their stepmom, who clearly loved and cared for them for years. If Biomom hadn't done her disappearing act again, I wonder if he'd even call OP to beg her to come back. It's because stepmom stopped doing the heavy lifting. They started asking their mom to pick up the slack. And then suddenly being a mom again wasn't fun. And she bounced. Classic. OP, you're not wrong to leave. The moment the disrespect started, your husband should have stepped up. My friends and I, 24 female, were out recently to celebrate my friend Sarah's 26 female birthday. For some context, I'm morbidly obese and I can't fit in booths at all. I find it hard sitting down when the tables don't move, and it's also just painful and uncomfortable anyway. My friends know this, and generally when we eat out, we get a table. However, because it was my friend's birthday, we went to her favorite restaurant, which mainly had booths. We tried to get a table, but none were available, so we sat at a booth. I found it hard to get into, and it was really pressing against my stomach, but I managed for a while. I told one of my friends that it would be nicer if they had better seating here, and she agreed. I mentioned this several times throughout the night because it was hurting, and everyone agreed. I wasn't complaining much, I was just venting a bit. However, Sarah talked to me privately before we were about to go home. She told me I was taking attention away from her and her birthday by mentioning it a lot and making a big deal. She said she tried to accommodate me a lot, but it can't always happen, and I need to take responsibility for my weight and manage it. I apologized and said, okay, but she just left. But now I'm really starting to wonder if I'm the idiot for complaining. I asked my roommate about this yesterday, and she agreed and said that I was being selfish. I really wasn't trying to be ungrateful for celebrating her birthday here. I was just venting my frustrations, and I'm obviously thankful that she accommodated me. But am I the idiot, and should I have just dealt with it silently? You are the idiot for bringing it up repeatedly. I sincerely hope you can find help managing your weight. At 24, you can still turn things around and reach a healthier state. You deserve to enjoy things like sitting in a booth, fitting in a movie theater seat, buying clothes off the rack, etc., etc. You made the birthday about you and your discomfort, and venting is complaining. Venting or complaining at a birthday party is inappropriate either way. Take this as a wake-up call. You can't even enjoy a meal because of your weight. Agreed. Your choices were to leave, find other seating, or decide to stay and try to enjoy the night. If it was as uncomfortable as it sounds, I hope no one would have begrudged you for leaving early or asking for a chair. Your choice to stay, but to keep the focus on how uncomfortable you were, didn't actually make the situation better for yourself. Unpopular opinion, not the idiot. It seems to me that this was really bothering you, and your friends aren't exactly taking you into consideration, regardless of it being someone's birthday. Celebrating a birthday does not dismiss the fact that you're physically uncomfortable in the booth, and it's negatively impacting you. Friends don't put other friends through that stress. For context, my wife, 28, and I, male, 29, have been married for the past 4 years and have been blessed with 2 sons. Recently, my wife has been complaining more about the difficulty of her job and the amount of work she has to put in following a workday. I work about 50 to 60 hours a week, whereas she works 40 hours a week, and I've tried to increase the amount of homework that I do over the weekends lately. The problem for me is that we both take the kids to daycare, which costs a pretty big chunk of our budget and is more or less 70 to 80% of her income per month. I make enough for all of us to be in the same financial situation, with a few more overtime hours a week if she quit her job. Since she has been complaining recently, when she started venting yesterday, I told her she might as well quit and just take care of the boys, and I'd bump up a few hours since it's pretty much the same type of work. She works in social care. According to her, I'm minimizing her work and just not focusing on the real problem. I've tried to talk to her about why she doesn't want to quit if she keeps whining about the job, but I haven't had much success today. Am I the idiot? Edit. She wants to pursue a career in her degree, digital marketing, and sees no future in social care. So I asked her why not just quit? You are the idiot. Are you aware that she'll find it hard to get back into the workforce if she decides to stay home with the kids? Are you comfortable with signing a postnuptial agreement, entitling her to half your assets, and allocating a portion of money for her usage each month? You're asking her to give up her autonomy and rely solely on you. Why don't you ask her what her perception of the issue is? That was my first thought. If you never want her to work again, have her stay home, but she probably finds some meaning in her work. She may very well want to revisit those benefits after the kids are grown, which won't happen if she stops working for about 15 years. Like, there's more benefit to a job than pay and health insurance. Just because this position is going south doesn't mean she shouldn't work anymore. Yeah, she's interested in changing jobs and probably feeling overwhelmed. OP says he works 50 to 60 hours. So does she, if she's handling kids and household on top of a 40-hour per week job. More, most probably. Is OP bringing anything to the table with the kids in the household? You are the idiot, OP. You're absolutely minimizing her job.